Hey there, it's Paul in the Fields again, and I'm here to tell you about something new in our humidor, but this is something new and really, really special. This is big time. It's from one of the most storied and famous brands in the history of the whole cigar industry. I'm talking about Montecristo, and the new cigar is in fact a whole new Montecristo that is dramatically different than any Montecristo that's ever come down the pike before. Here's a look at it. It's called the Montecristo Espada, which means sword. And it is a first in a variety of ways. First of all, it is the very first Montecristo that's all Nicaraguan tobacco. Historically they've blended all kinds of interesting things. This is a 100% Nicaraguan Puro fillers, binder, and wrapper. And it's also the first Montecristo produced by the Plasencia family, and this is a collaborative effort. In fact, this is the newest effort from a special group at Montecristo, or at Altadis, the company that owns the brand, and they're called the Grupo de Maestros, or the Group of Maestros, and they are the highest level of blending experts in the company who create only the most extraordinary new things. And this new cigar, this new Montecristo that they've created is truly extraordinary. I showed you the cigar. I'm going to take the two of the three bands off. It's got a lot of bands on it, mostly because I want you to see this wrapper. Which is a little bit light, virtually no veins at all, very smooth, very uniform, nice bit of oils, clearly a stunning construction. Let me tell you about the blend. It is all, as I mentioned, it's all Nicaraguan, but it's all Habano seed. So the wrapper is a Habano from Jalapa in Nicaragua from 2010. The binder is from 2009. In the fillers, there's a Seco leaf from Jalapa, vintage 2008. There's an Ometepe Viso. Let me tell you quickly, Ometepe is an area, it's actually a volcanic island in the center of Lake Nicaragua. Super fertile because it's an active volcano. And this is Ometepe Viso. And there's also some Habano Ligero from the Condega region in Nicaragua, and that's also vintage 2008. Needless to say, I wouldn't be talking to you about this fine cigar unless it was one of the new things in the 9 locations of Cigars. We have them in all of our stores. We were amongst the very first in the country to get them. Having said all that, I can't wait to taste it. You know that I don't use a cutter. I always bite the cigar for a couple of reasons. First of all, I can take off exactly as much or as little as I want that way. And second of all, it's very easy to lose cutters. It's a little bit harder to lose your teeth. At least I haven't lost any of mine yet. Anyway, so now that the cigar is open, it draws nicely. In fact, it draws perfectly. The cigar is firm, but not tight. The immediate flavor that I get from it is a very slight sweetness, a lot of interesting cedary, woody taste, and a hint of pepper, which bodes well for the future. Now let's see what we get. Wow. Immediately cedary, as I expected. But there's this nice blast of not heavy pepper, kind of like, people call it white pepper. It's not the stuff that you sprinkle out of a pepper shaker. It's a little bit lighter than that, and the flavor's a little more delicate than that, but it's still pepper. They call that white pepper. The last few times I talked about is, well, first of all, I got to tell you, this is really good. Right now, that pepper is dominant on the front of my palate, and down the back and the rest of my palate, it's kind of creamy, really smooth, not harsh at all, and it's got that cedary, woody, earthy kind of flavor, overlaid with the pepper. Now, what I wanted to tell you is that in the past, when I've joined you folks, I've said, well, I'm not going to smoke the whole cigar in front of the camera. And a few people have pointed out to me that that means you miss out on whatever goes on in the latter portions of the cigar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and smoke in peace. And I'll come back when I'm a little farther into the cigar, and we can see what's going on then. So sit tight and I'll be back. Well, I'm back. Very relaxed and truly content smoking this cigar. It lives up to the very high standards that you'd expect from a Montecristo, and it delivers some things that I don't think any other Montecristo I've tasted delivers. But I must say, this fits in a different spot in the lineup. It's definitely not a full-bodied cigar. It is a full-flavored cigar. There is just tons of flavor coming out of this cigar. It sort of has remained consistent in that it's some of this white peppery flavor on the front of the palate, which has built up some but never gets intense, and a lot of that creamy, earthy woodiness that just sort of floats around all over the back of your palate, and those flavors just seem to come back and forth and interact with each other. The balance is really, really fine. You can see that it is not in the least bit stingy with smoke. This cigar puts out smoke. It falls in about the middle of the Montecristo range as far as price. Cigar Cigars has it in 3 or 4 sizes, kind of the sizes you might expect: a Robusto, a Toro, something closer to a Churchill. Of course, they have cute names that don't really relate to anything, because that's what cigar companies like to do. And I'm doing what I like to do, and what I recommend that you all do. And by the way, although I don't have one here with me, it comes in a really cool box. It comes in boxes of 10. The boxes are made out of suede. They're very distinctive. I mean, you can't smoke the box, so maybe you don't care. So, go to your nearest cigar location. If you don't know where that is, go to Cigar Cigar's website at cccigars.com. Check out where the nearest one to you is. Come on in. Try a Espada, a Montecristo Espada, and see if you agree with me. And by the way, let me know if you agree with me. Drop me a line. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. That's it for now. So let me remind you, as I always do, smoke often and smoke happy. Take care. God, I love this cigar.